My parents let my sister live, rent-free for 10 years, then expected me to save her. My younger sister Emma had always been the favorite. While I was expected to work, pay my bills, and figure life out on my own, Emma always had a safety net. She dropped out of college twice, quit multiple jobs, and constantly jumped from one dream to another. Every time things went wrong, my parents stepped in and rescued her. They paid her rent, they covered her bills, they even helped with her debts. Whenever I questioned it, they told me she just needed more support. Meanwhile, I worked hard to build my own life. I graduated, got a steady job, saved money, and eventually bought a small house. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. Emma, however, reached 30 years old without ever truly supporting herself. Then my father retired. Without his regular income, my parents could no longer afford to keep funding Emma's lifestyle. For the first time, they started cutting back on the money they gave her. A few months later, my mother called me. Emma was 3 months behind on rent. Her landlord was threatening eviction, and my parents had already given her everything they could afford. Then my mother asked the question I never expected. "Can you pay her rent?" I sat there in disbelief. For years, they had supported Emma while expecting me to solve my own problems. Now that they couldn't afford to help anymore, they wanted me to take over. I asked what would happen after I paid this month's rent. Silence, because everyone knew there would be another month after that, and another. The real problem wasn't the rent. The problem was Emma had never learned how to take responsibility for herself. I told them no. My mother cried. My father said family should help family. But I reminded them that when I struggled in my 20s, nobody offered to pay my bills. Later that day, Emma called. Instead of asking for help, she demanded it. She accused me of being selfish and claimed I thought I was better than everyone else because I owned a house. I refused again. A few weeks later, Emma was evicted and forced to move back in with our parents. For the first time, they had to deal with the consequences of years of enabling her. The arguments started almost immediately. Then something unexpected happened. Emma got a full-time job. Not her dream job, just a normal, steady job. And she kept it. Months turned into a year. She saved money, paid her own bills, and eventually rented a small apartment entirely on her own. The following Thanksgiving, my father apologized. He admitted they had spent years protecting Emma from consequences instead of preparing her for life. Then Emma surprised me. She thanked me. She said losing her apartment had been painful, but it forced her to grow up. For the first time in her life, everything she owned was something she had earned herself. That day taught me an important lesson. Sometimes helping someone isn't giving them what they want. Sometimes helping them means letting them face the consequences they've spent years avoiding.